Coming to you live from Pier 17 in the South Street Seaport and brought to you by Delicious Heineken. Welcome back to Jalen and Jacoby. Jalen Rose, Dion Waiters, and the Miami Heat were on a flight from Phoenix to Los Angeles. On that flight, Dion Waiters had a panic attack, and he has now been suspended 10 games by the Miami Heat because there are reports that the panic attack was due to some edibles that were given to him from a teammate. Jalen Rose, I have so many questions, but my first question is this. How many edibles did he take?
A couple of things, David Jacoby. Adam Silver's on the phone. Hey, Dion, that's a failed test. That's all I know. That's a failed test. Okay, Jacoby, I've been watching a lot of the news. And for the young people, please know what they're saying about that vaping is real. What you said about, your question about the edibles is also real. You can't determine the amount of THC that's in each edible. That's a failed test. Tanner, what is this for Dion Waiters? Come on, I just can't. I can't say this with a straight face.
Everybody knows somebody that ended up in the hospital because of edibles, and now everyone knows Dion Waiters. And while we do wish him the best, and mental health is very important, and we do want him to get back on the court, this isn't just a one isolated incident thing between him and the Miami Heat. If you haven't noticed, he has played 0 minutes for the Heat this year. 0 minutes for the Heat. They've got Kendrick Nunn playing over him, and they've got Tyler Hero playing over him. So what part of this incident do you think is a little bit of him lashing out against the franchise a little bit?
And also, they added Jimmy Butler this offseason to be their best player on the perimeter. Remember, Dion Waiters was getting buckets and playing quality minutes even before Dwayne Wade got back. So he saw his role diminish last year, and then that led into this offseason, and then adding the players you just described has diminished his happiness with that situation. But you still have to be professional, Jacoby. Missing 10 games is going to cost him almost $1 million.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know what happens? You know what happens when I think about somebody losing $1 million? It makes me call Tanner and ask him, what does that mean for Dion? What does that mean?
Well, there's a couple things. There's also a report that it was one of his teammates that gave him, quote, a gummy, and that he refuses to name who that teammate is. A couple things about that. Number one, shout out to Dion. You know, to keep everyone's name out your mouth. I'd like that move. Number two, it was definitely more than one gummy. It was definitely more than one gummy that gave him a panic attack on this flight. Jalen, this is one warning to everybody out there, especially those that live in states where this stuff, you can just walk into a dispensary and get it. Be very, very careful when consuming edibles. We all know someone who this has happened to. And one thing I hate about edibles, Jalen Rose, I've got 3 little kids. What do they make? Gummy bears, gummy worms, brownies, chocolate bars, all things that my kids love to eat. Please be careful out there with the edibles and keep them away from children.
Well said. That's exactly where I was going. And the Rice Krispies as well.
Yep, all that. Well, we move on to some actual basketball. The Lakers hosted the Raptors in Los Angeles. The Raptors were without Lowry and Ibaka, but they had that, man.
Ooh.
And they had Pascal Siakam and Fred VanVleet just getting down in transition. The Lakers went cold in the fourth quarter. Jalen, how impressed are you by this win from the Raptors?
Jacoby, Reggie just reminded me of something. You did a list of your teams in the Eastern Conference to make the playoffs.
Okay.
The Raptors weren't included.
Hold on. So now I'm being sabotaged not just by you, but also by Reggie. Oh, you know what I mean? I made a simple mistake. I just forgot about the Raptors, okay? But now, you're always gonna phone me. We need to pull up this part where I said this game was gonna go this way and it did. All right, we can start pulling up clips of you getting games wrong too. I don't know. We're gonna start doing that. And I got Reggie working against me too. I see y'all. I see what's happening around here. It's the people that are closest to you are the ones who are against you the most. That's what's really happening around here. All right, we can start pulling up some old clips of Jalen Rose talking about 99% sure Kawhi Leonard's gonna stay in Toronto. Talking about Michael Jordan's gonna play a game this year for the Hornets. All right, we can start doing that too. I'm ready. It's all out war now.
Actually, I was going to compliment you because anybody that follows this unprofessional program understands that when we do lists, they're never accurate.
I only forgot one team. Yeah, every time we shouldn't even call them lists anymore. We should call them incomplete lists.
Yeah, let's change. I like that. But let me say one thing about the Raptors. Really well coached. Playing without Serge Ibaka, playing without Kyle Lowry. The most improved player, Pascal Siakam, will clearly be an all-star this year. Fred VanVleet playing quality minutes. This is a big-time road win against the Lakers, who had won 7 straight.
And you see that it's 32-8 in fast break points. And we always celebrate the Lakers for their defense. We always celebrate the Lakers for their size. But sometimes that size does come at a cost. Not the fastest team up and down the floor, especially when you look at someone like Pascal Siakam, who is so good in transition. Finishes tough buckets, going 100 miles an hour. I love Siakam's game, and I think you are right. I think he will be an all-star in the East. You know what? They're not only just playing without Serge Ibaka and Kyle Lowry, they're playing without Kawhi Leonard. Like, let's not forget that part. They're playing without Kawhi Leonard, who's obviously on the Clippers.
And Danny Green, who was on the other team.
That's a great point. Jalen Rose, the stretch mark 5, had himself a weekend. Nikola Jokic, the stretch mark 5. He did this to beat the Sixers on Friday night at home. And then last night on Sunday, what'd he do? He doubled down. Look at this little turnaround. A 1-foot turnaround from 20 feet. What'd you see from the stretch mark 5 over the weekend?
I got to give people a little snapshot behind the curtain. Over the last couple of weeks, Jacoby was a little disappointed. You know, he trademarked stretch mark 4 and 5. His favorite body type plays in Denver, got off to a slow start. Jacoby was upset. He wasn't himself. And then all of a sudden, I looked down at my phone. Jokic hitting turnaround jumpers to win games back-to-back. He's enthusiastic again. You're a happy camper now.
I'm back. When Jokic plays well, I play well. That's the way it works. Me and Jokic are tied together because we have the same body type as a fellow stretch mark basketball player. Jalen, you know I love Jokic. Makes me happy when he plays well. But one of your guys, we have some very bad news about. Gordon Hayward out with a broken hand. Jalen Rose will commiserate after this.